really nice edge that you have to how you communicate, how you deal with things. So it's just about keeping that nice, non-assuming energy that keeps you in the right space to be in the right energy to negotiate this in a better way and actually get a better pay increase, by the way, because there's nothing like saying, when they say, so what were you thinking, for that position and that role as far as income goes? And what I would do is I would think ahead and go, well, I was thinking, but hey, what do you reckon? Because I'm flexible. And then if they look shocked, you go, well, if that's a bit too much, why don't you tell me what your ballpark is? I'm sure we can make something work. Because it shows a sense of humour, and it shows an ability to be flexible and negotiate. It shows a willing to value yourself, but to also work within the company's needs. So that can kind of work well for you if you use it the right way and the right sort of humour. You just have to, really consider who you're talking to at the time, which you should not do that with your current boss at all. Next boss, sure. No worries. Current boss, don't do that. Next boss, yes. So I'm putting that little thing in there. Then you'll be fine.
Okay.
So I hope that helps you, my dear. You rock on. You keep on doing what you're doing. And don't forget to keep your feet warm. Do they get quite cold, or is it cold there?
It's a little bit cold sometimes in my room.
And do you feel the coldness in your feet particularly?
My toes are a little cold. And my nose.
They might be a bit blue. Sorry, bad joke.
Oh, my goodness.
No, just keep them warm.
Thank you so much. You've been wonderful.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you for your call. Thank you, everyone. Sorry we couldn't get through to all the calls today. Catch you same bat time and channel next week. In the meantime, keep happy and smiling and patient.
Welcome to Your Time to Shine with your hosts, Darlene and Julie.
Your Time to Shine is a radio show devised to help you encompass your own divine gifts.
Yeah, and tonight, Julie and I are going to talk about an interesting topic, and it's one that we both have a little difference of opinion on. So it will be really interesting and fun to talk to. So you're going to hear two different perspectives on this particular subject, and that is, are you totally the creator of your reality, or do you believe in fate and contracts? So, Julie, would you like to start with, we were talking a little bit before the show started, and would you like to share a little bit about your thoughts on the idea?
Sure. So I believe that we are born into this world, that our soul already knows what is in store for us, what has been planned, the things that we plan to do in this life. However, with that caveat, I do believe that how we get there, whether you are really privy to knowing what those soul contracts are or not, there's different ways you can get there, and there's different avenues of choice. There's not just one way to get there. So I'm not sure that I totally believe in, well, this is my destiny, because I do believe that there are choices, and that we can change that a little bit. But Darlene, I know you have a different point of view on that.
I do. And my thought is that the idea that fate controls everything is more of an older paradigm. And that is what keeps people limited in what it is that they think can happen in their lives. So if they think fate is in control, you've probably heard before that saying that, oh, it is what it is, or God will only give me what it is I can handle. And my point of view on that is we create what shows up. We create our life and what happens around us to some degree. And it's not about, in my point of view, it's not about what God gives us or sends us. We live in what's called an ask and a receive universe. So when we're asking for something, that's what's going to show up. And whether the ask is verbal through words, or if it's the energy we're emitting, that's what the universe is going to match. And when I hear that idea that we come with a soul contract, and we already have an idea of what's going to happen or what's supposed to happen, to me, that doesn't make sense, because there are just way too many variables in a situation like that would have to play out in order for that to come to be an outcome. There's too many players involved, and there's also that belief where there's free will. So some people believe in soul contract, but free will. So if you have everyone in your story, in your contract with free will, just one little change in someone choosing free will, going outside of what you would like to have happen, just one little ripple could change absolutely everything. So that's where I come from when I say there's just too many variables involved when we say we have this soul contract, that something is supposed to occur. However, if you talk about, like, say, a person comes in and is going to be a healer, that I can believe, and I resonate with that, because what I see happening is the word healer can mean a million different things. So that's where I see there's room to play with when someone comes in saying they have a contract to do something. But then again, there's just too many variables outside of that might keep them from living out this contract. whether it's family, the family that they're born into, or circumstances outside of their family that they don't have control over. So that, it's a very different point of view. But Julie, you actually have an example of how you did create your reality this week. I thought that'd be fun to share, to give people an example of how it is we can create something rather than just leaving it up to fate. So if you wanted to share that story, that would be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I just wanted to comment on your last point of view that, as a contract and being a healer, how that can, how you feel that can be a soul contract. And, too, I believe that we come into this world to do certain things, like you said, whether it be a healer or whatever. But also sometimes we don't always get the chance to do that. And so sometimes our contracts are not finished out 100%. So that's where you were saying that the choice, if someone makes a slight decision that's a little bit different, that's where it can alter some of your outcomes. And I do believe in that different situations can alter those outcomes depending on who is with you at the time, whether you feel someone is sending them to you or whatever. But there is that piece that can change a little bit. So my story, I will try to condense this down to a short story. I had a package that had some very personal information in it, and I was sending it off to somebody in Hawaii. And I had a tracking number and everything, so I started tracking the package. And I noticed I sent it on a Saturday, and it was supposed to be there the following Friday. And by Wednesday, I was seeing these tracking information. It just says on its way to the next destination. And the next day it said the same thing. And the next day it said the same thing. And Friday came and went, and the other person didn't get the package. And Saturday they didn't get the package. Monday they didn't get the package. So finally I went in, I looked at the tracking again, and I was like, I wonder where this facility is that this package is sitting at. So I typed it in, and I was shocked to know that my package had gone to Guam. Yes, Guam. Why it went to Guam, we have no idea. So I did have to say I went into a very small freak out because there was personal information in there that I was worried that, wow, if someone got that, they could have my identity. But then I went into, okay, wait a minute. I have my tools from Access. I have my angels, my guides. So I literally called them all in. I said, okay, you guys wanted a job because I'd been in meditation days before that. And they were like, you're not using us to our full extent. So I'm like, okay, I'm using you to your full extent. Get out there and do this job. Find this package, get it there quickly and safely. And so the next day, my husband called the post office. And here's where it gets really pretty cool. Anybody that calls the U.S. Post Office knows that you hardly ever get to talk to a real person. He got to talk to a real person, and this person actually tracked that package and called him every single day for 4 days in a row until that package was delivered. And yes, it was delivered safely on Wednesday, thank goodness. It had not been opened. Everything was safe. So in that situation, I, instead of going into complete panic and thinking, well, I can't do anything about it and all is lost and this is terrible, I sat down and I called in my guides and my angels and I said, go to work. And it changed the outcome because that package could still be sitting in Guam with me trying to figure out what to do with it. And, maybe it would get delivered to somebody. So it makes a big difference on how you use your tools.
Exactly. And if you can imagine then using your tools every single day,
Absolutely.
Every single choice, creating anything and everything that you'd like to have show up, whatever your tools are, whether they're guides or angels. And part of what I see people do when they think fate is in control is just saying, oh, I guess my information was supposed to end up in Guam. Not to say everybody, but not everyone would then say, oh, wait a minute, I have control over my reality. I can now choose to do something and change what just happened. And all of our guides, all of our angels, everybody we tap into, the energy, space, and consciousness, we choose to be in that moment, which means not to freak out. You changed the course of events with that mail because you chose to, include and bring in your sources.
Absolutely.
And that's just awesome. And so if you can create that, you can create absolutely anything and everything.
Absolutely.
So we had a question here. Once in a while, I'm able to see what's going on with the Facebook Live. So while we're here chatting, it's on A1R Psychic Radio Facebook Live. So sometimes my internet will let me see the questions that people are asking. And someone asked if we can explain what a contract is. So a contract, you might want to fill this in, but as far as I know what a soul contract is, before we're born, our soul chooses what it is that particular lifetime will be about. So the contract is set up so that the life is already chosen. So say like in this life, I'm here to be a healer. I am a Reiki practitioner, teacher, access consciousness, bars facilitator, and I work with people in healing sessions. I use energy work. So did I choose that before I came here? Or am I choosing the path now as I am here? So a contract is something like it's predestined, that it will already happen. Is that what you would explain as well to this person?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And that's where my point of view about how we create everything is, if we come in with a specific contract, there's just, like I said before, there's just so many variables that would change that or keep that particular contract from happening. So that's any other ideas about that subject that we can, and then we can take a caller.
Yeah, no, just briefly that, I think, when we have a soul contract and we do have free will, there's many, many directions that we can go with this. And, you can still change the outcome. You can change your soul contract, I believe, if that is what you want to do. And you can change that outcome, or you can change the direction, and maybe it still comes to that same outcome, but your path in which you have taken is a little bit different. So there's a lot of different ways and ideas that you can look at this. And Darlene and I are just bringing up different points of view so that people can make their own decisions on how they feel about this.
Right. And just one more way to end the conversation before we take a caller. I like to share with the people I work with, I like to remind them that they do have control over their own life. So it's not something, you don't need to sit back and let fate take care of everything. You can step in at any point and acknowledge your potency as the creator of your own life. And that's available to you every second of every day, regardless of contracts or whatever you think the case may be. You have a choice 24/7.
Right.
So on that note, we have a caller from Houston. Marisa, you are on the line with us. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, ladies. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Night going.
Excellent. So, what are your specialties? Y'all are intuitives?
Yes, we both are.
Okay, cool. My intuition is telling me that everything is just a mess. And the reason I say that is because I am being pulled in like 90 different directions, and each one of them on their own could pan out to be something spectacular, but I'm in this place where I don't know where to place my complete focus. Because if you have too many things going on, it's hard to maintain a laser focus on just one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's with the let's see, the new moon and the last full moon that we just had, there is a lot going on, and I've been feeling it a lot as well. I mean, 1 minute I'm happy.
It's kind of it's like an uneasiness, yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So that's now that we're into the new moon, that's going to be starting to shift. So there's a lot of people that are feeling that right now, including myself. I'm up, I'm down, I'm this way, I'm that way. It's been, ever since actually the first of the year, it's been really crazy shifts in energetics for me. And I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. But when I talk to some other mediums and other intuitives, they are all feeling the same thing.
It's very, it rattles one. When it prolongs, the feeling of uneasiness for such a prolonged period of time sets my teeth on edge.
Right.
So I'm afraid that, I'm going to become frustrated with my current endeavor, which I've been working on for quite some time. For about 4 or 5 years, I've dedicated my life to music and reviewing music and taking photographs of rock stars and trying to make a go of that. And I've had some success with that. But there are several other things that I could be doing as well, because rock stars, they have to sleep sometime, right? That'll free up my time.
They don't sleep at all.
Sometimes I don't think they do.
Oh, yeah, they do. I promise.
There are questions that you can ask yourself. So rather than being overwhelmed by so much, you can ask yourself what it is you enjoy the most, what lights you up the most. And you don't have to pick just one. So there may be several that work together, or that can work side by side. So you can ask, what it is. What do you enjoy doing most? And how can you
I've been asking. I have been asking and asking. What the crap? Because all the time that I'm doing these things, it felt like progress. Here's a nice brick wall for you to smash into. There you go. Have fun with that. So I feel stuck. Like I'm unable to ascend to the next level.
Right. Julie, you look like you're picking up something.
I feel like that these brick walls that you're running into are to make you stop and think, is this really what I want to do? Is this really worthwhile? And then you say, yeah, it is. And you continue on, and then you go. I really do feel like you are trying, you've got too many things going on, most definitely. And you need to get really clear on, like Darlene said, what lights you up. So if you say...
It all does. I mean, how can writing about rock stars and hanging out with them not light you up inside?
Right.
You know, I create art. That always lights me up. But it's something brand new that I haven't expanded upon because I've always felt photography and real fine art were not really the same thing.
And they are the same thing, but I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to put so much focus on each one of these things. I think that if it's the photography and everything that lights you up, you need to focus more on that. If you like the art, there's no reason why you can't do that. But maybe do that as a side, side thing, but really focus on that one thing. I get the feeling that the photography, I mean, I'm getting big thumbs up right now. That's what I'm seeing.
I sure as heck hope so, man. I've been working my ass off. Excuse my language.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, yeah, I can see that. But I think what you need to do, I think what is happening is you're getting so worried that you're not going to get to where you want to get with the photography that you start pulling in all these other ideas. And so the universe is going, oh, she wants to be a photographer and do these rock stars and everything. Great, let's give her that. Oh, wait a minute. She's now saying she wants to do art. Okay, let's give her some art. Oh, wait, now she says that she wants to do this. Oh, okay, well, let's give her that. So you need to be very, very clear on what it is that you want, because the universe will give you exactly what you ask for. And if you're here and you're there and you're over there, they're going to follow and they're going to say, oh, she wants more of that. Oh, she wants more of that. So you just need to get really clear on what it is that you want.
Yeah. During the new moon, I did my manifestation ritual and I was very specific and I wrote it down on paper and then I meditated. And then I went out and then I did the ritual and I felt like I got a little bit of clarity. But it's probably just a head injury I got photographing a band last week, but I've just been feeling really damn out of sorts. But then again, a 185-pound man comes jumping on your head. It's going to do stuff to you, right?
Right.
I had such static on that evening. From that, it wasn't the injury that gave me static. I was just receiving a lot of static that night. It was like as if the universe was like, you have to go, but we're not going to let you do it very easily or nice at all. So I got whiplashed, and then I was actually thrown out of a photography pit because I had no photo pass, but the tour manager did not provide them. So it was like walking around in circles, and I felt like... my husband got mad at me. He's like, you're doing these silly things, you silly woman. Go out and get a normal job like a normal person. Right. And I'm like,
so we are coming down to the end of our show. If you go to Your Time to Shine on our page, we can continue the conversation with you and see if we can help you get some clarity.
Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, and also, if we're looking at something like that situation, where is it that she's limiting herself? So think about that. And when you're asking the universe for what it is you'd like to have,